Alright, here we are again with another episode of Watch and Shoes. The watch is the Invicta Hybrid Sub-Aqua Venom with the master calendar on it. Let's see if I can get it focused in there. A favorite watch of mine. I like the gold accents on the black. I thought that's pretty cool. Water resistant. Day, date, and chrono features. If you want to look at more details, I did a watch box video, and this is definitely in there. All right, the shoe today is Gucci. The name, I don't know how to pronounce. Only word I really recognize on there is orange and nylon. So everything else maybe is foreign languages. I see red also. But basically what this is a mountain boot and a sneaker combined. I do not consider this a dad shoe, even though I'm sure people will say, hey, that's a dad shoe. But there's a lot of things you'll see on this shoe that you will not see on this Balenciaga. One is the tread. The tread on the Gucci is going to be for mountains. I mean, it's like really, really bulky. This isn't really bulky, like that kind of grippy tread. And it goes from basically basketball tread to an air bubble to a trainer. And that's pretty much all you got with the Balenciaga. And with this Gucci, I think they went a little harder in the mountain, rugged, even weatherproofing it. They made a disclaimer that it is not waterproof, but it is visually and texture wise, it's weatherproof. About the box, very hard, sturdy box, respectable box, no problem with that. We have extra set of laces. I've actually taken the laces out and those are off to the side, but they also came with an additional double set of laces, which is nice. It's always cool. I see that on Nikes. Not that unusual, but it's always nice to get two. Gucci responsibility. Open this up and you can freeze it if you like to read this stuff. In order to provide enhanced capabilities to certify product authenticity, this shoe has an RFI chip, radio frequency indication. And you basically have to go to Japan, they're saying, if you want that taken out. So that's kind of spooky, but it's not my first. I actually have a pair of Adidas that I did a review on, and just scroll down in my videos if you want to check that out. It's a Derrick Rose, I believe the best shoe Derrick Rose has ever been affiliated with. One of the best basketball shoes Adidas has ever put together, mainly because of the materials. I see a lot of these videos today, they do tests on whether it's actually a good shoe. They'll take it to a basketball court and run around in it, but I've never done that with that Adidas. It's just a good shoe with respect to the materials they use to make it. So it's a green, red, black, and green Adidas. Feel free to scroll down and check that one out. It is probably, I have to say that's my favorite basketball style shoe, because of how hard China and Adidas went to make that shoe. They went real hard with the materials and the meaning behind the materials. It even has gold in it, so it's pretty cool. All right, so this is another pamphlet. They give you plenty of reading materials for some strange reason. Feel free to pause it and check that out. This footwear has been realized in part using natural materials, and they're probably going to talk about how those materials don't need to be washed, and if you do wash them, then you could lose some of the appearance that you thought you had when you bought it. Okay. Last, this footwear has been realized using precious natural materials, again, of animal origin. This footwear is not suitable for trekking or extreme conditions. So it's I guess they're saying it's more style than function. I disagree, to be honest with you. After going over the shoe, looking at it, I'd have to disagree. It was nice for them to say that, but I'm looking at the stuff. It was very well made, but we'll get to that by showing you. And you know, by now this stuff pisses me off. It's not that it pisses me off to see paper. It was a video where the guy who got a pair of Nikes, and he went ham over the fact that Nike gave him some paper, and that ticked me off. So apparently people are aware that there are people who love this toilet seat paper. It is a popular thing. Maybe toilet seat paper is expensive, and I'm not aware, because that guy lost it when he found out he got paper from Nike. But okay, so you got the sleeve that the shoe goes in. I will say this has got to be the best material that I've ever seen used for a bag. What do you call it? A dust bag. And unlike the Balenciaga, the Gucci dust bag fits 2 shoes, even though they gave you 2 of them. So that's pretty cool. It's so big, it's way bigger than the shoe that's inside. And Balenciaga gave me 1, and it couldn't fit the I don't even think it could fit the shoe that I bought. I mean, you know, it was tiny. So, all right, then you got the shoe inside, probably. Okay, like I said, I put the laces in. It came with some mountain Timberland looking laces. I didn't like those, so I found some laces that kind of complemented this color scheme of gray and then light gray reflective material, and so I put those in. It's really tough with this setup for these pins being so low. It gives it a very, very odd, look when it's laced. So that was my best rendition of trying not to make it look as bizarre as it looks when the regular laces were in it. It was pretty much unacceptably bizarre. So this is really going to be like a toned down version of that. Because I guess the aesthetic appeal in laces is consistency, and there is none with this one because they placed them way down there instead of right there. Would have been nice if, I think they should have just kept them bang, bang, bang right up, and you'd have had a nice lace consistency there for the aesthetic appeal. But as far as I was saying about the hardiness of this shoe, I mean, you can see this is like mountain boot style with the huge block tread for traction. It's like straight up boots. Now back what I was saying with the materials that they used, this material is pretty cool. Let's see if I can get it to sit. Might not be able to get it to sit. There we go, perfect. Okay, so that is a very sturdy material. So that's clearly waterproof. So even though they say don't take it in the water, I think that's probably just for lawsuits, but that's clearly waterproof. The stitching here is on red suede, very luxurious feeling suede. This is also leather, and it's broged. So you got the holes in the leather, and underneath the holes you have I think this is called 3M now, highly reflective material. And just a cool design. A lot of crazy colors for this shoe. Real funky colors. You have a pull tab here. It says Team Gucci. A guy did a video who's really well renowned in Gucci's family and or company. And after watching that video, the brother trying to explain Gucci's mistake and how they corrected their mistake, and encouraging people to Google search how they corrected their mistake. And I actually watched that video, and I approved of them realizing that they offended a lot of people in a previous garment that they created, and acknowledging that they offended a lot of people and correcting the problem. So that is the opposite for me of racism. Racists could care less that you're offended. In fact, racists are intending and hoping to God that you care about them enough to be offended. And Gucci as the brother who worked there was telling on this video. I put a link to it in the description down below. But what he was articulating was that they took a lot of steps to correct that. So that I don't have a problem with. If you offend me and your intent was not to offend me, and you backpedal and or explain yourself in a way that is clear that this is not your intent, me and you are cool. I don't have a problem with you. So that I accept as an apology or the right steps or the right course of action after the initial offense that Gucci got into a big situation with the African American community over that garment that was offensive with respect to all aspects of history between the U.S. colony and the natives that live here, and or Africans that were brought from Africa after the Caucasian arrived. Long story, but in the end, Gucci was not interested in offending people, or they would have did what other companies have done and just stayed silent about it. Instead, they addressed it in a very respectable fashion and got me to not be against Gucci. This is actually my first Gucci purchase. I've never actually purchased anything from Gucci before. But trust and believe, this was on like nearly half off sale, and that I can do. Typically, I can't just walk in the store and buy something Gucci. They're not really targeting me or my budget. But this one being half that's my budget. So I can work with it. As far as the shoe goes, we went over the materials. Mountain boot is what I think when I think of this shoe. Tennis shoe style mountain boot. Let's take this off and that one off, and I'll show you something that is interesting. It's actually got a waterproofing system with the web that goes all the way up. So up to about there, this shoe would be waterproof. So that's something you would expect out of a nice mountain boot. Also, nice leather here. Not a big fan of this big Gucci sign, and if it really gets on my nerves, I'll just cut the thread there and take it off. But typically, whatever I'm wearing should cover that up right around there. And then the only Gucci logo that I'm looking at would be none, I don't think. Just colors and materials is like, well, okay, there is another one here. Fortunately, that one doesn't scream Gucci. So this one does. I know I've said in a previous video, it's not a really big deal for me for them to put their logo on the tongue. It's kind of the only acceptable place for it for me. And if you want to put it other places, at least let it blend in, so people would actually have to look for it before they could actually see that it says Gucci anywhere. But yeah, very well made shoe. Materials, the stitching. I did not go into where I got this expecting to buy a Gucci shoe, but I was very impressed with the materials. Very impressed with the with this metal that they use. It's not like a cheap situation going on here. So that metal looks to me like it's gonna last the test of time. Bronze or brass, probably bronze. It looks like bronze. So either or, I mean, it's pretty sturdy, solid commitment to be there for the long haul, which is just very unusual. So yeah, this is my first, I wouldn't call this a dad shoe. I would call this a mountain boot shoe. Because it's a cross between a shoe and a mountain boot, or the aspects of the mountain boot. All right, for the paper lovers, there's more, and even more. And we've got on the inside, let's take a look. Trying to keep it as consistent as possible with respect to the materials used. Not a lot of stitching going on. And a leather sole. I've said in many videos, if you want to impress the person buying the shoe, give them a leather sole. So that's always a good thing. I tried to rip off anything that said the price of the shoe on it. I don't typically like going over the prices of the shoes, but there you have it. hope you appreciate the last video. I know I've said that before, but hopefully this one will be. Thanks for watching another episode of Watch and Shoes. Watch and Shoes.